So why are only 10% of couples thriving? That's the question. Okay, that's the segment that I'm going to be doing shortly. And let me kind of share with you some really interesting information around why only 10% of couples are doing great. There's a lot of people that are like, yeah, we're kind of okay. But only 10% of actually couples are doing great, according to Psychology Today. So here's a little bit of interesting information. So divorce rate is 40 to 60% for that first marriage. It jumps to 60% by your second marriage, and it jumps even further to 73% by your third marriage. So this whole notion of like, I think I married the wrong person, which is really interesting, because a lot of times we marry our opposite personality profile in our first relationship, and then it causes all kinds of problems, and we think, oh my gosh, I like married the wrong person, I got to marry somebody like me. You just look at the research and you show that actually is not the case, because usually in second marriages people often marry people a little bit more similar to themselves. And so the whole reason I share this with you is that it is really important that it is not choosing a partner that is like us, although we do want to choose a partner that has a similar value system. We need to understand how relationships work. Very few of us really understand what's the best practice of that great relationship. And so let me just kind of give you a little bit of a framework, just so we can all get on the same page around kind of understanding, again, if the goal is for you to have a thriving relationship, you want to be part of that 10% club, you don't want to just be okay, you don't want to just be good, you want to be amazing. And so you have to kind of really understand some of the barriers that are blocking for a lot of couples. And so here are some of them, and you can kind of think to yourself, which of these actually sound like you? One of the most common ones I actually hear is a lack of time. That people just say, I don't have time. Like, I'm racing. I'm going from one thing to the next thing. I'm doing work travel. A lot of people are exhausted. There's just this sense in terms of I'm totally exhausted, in terms of like, I'm decision fatigue. I can't even think about anything else that is around my relationship. Maybe you have like no plan. It's like I've got plans and strategic plans I'm doing all the time for my business. I don't want to kind of be having more plans at work. I want my family life to be like easy, not difficult. Distractions. A lot of couples will say, I will try some little relationship tip or principle, and then I just get distracted, or it doesn't go well, and then I get discouraged. Accountability. Once we like try something new, we need to have some kind of accountability from actually other people. And a lot of us don't understand personality differences. Again, usually in first marriages, we often see that people actually marry their opposite. Well, that very thing that is really exciting for you when you first start dating is probably the thing that is going to drive you crazy after kind of a few years. And so all that to say, it's really important that we kind of lean into this like incredible topic and really start creating a solution around it. So think of me as a coach. You're on the field. You're over here. You want to get to that end goal. You want to hit that top 10%. You want to be part of that 10% club. There's lots of different things that you can do. We're launching a marriage mastermind to help couples through this process. But here are three that I would just encourage you to start thinking about. The first thing is you really want to start thinking about having a vision. You need clarity of vision. What is your vision that you actually have for your relationship? What is your vision? What do you want the next 5 years, 10 years? What do you want in the next in the next year? So you've got to have clarity of vision. That is really important. Number two is you've got to have clarity of roles. Just like we would actually in business, right? We have clarity of vision, then we kind of like clarify in terms of who's going to kind of be doing what. You need the same thing in terms of the strategic plan for your relationship. So you have to have clarity of vision, and you also have to have clarity of roles. Who's going to do what? And this is where a lot of couples, they get kind of stuck in that. And the last one is you need communication and follow-up. So once you have your clarity of vision, you've got your clarity of roles. Now you have to have regular communication around making sure that you're hitting your targets. And for some couples, they're like, Karen, this feels like work. You know what? It takes intentionality. Once you start the process and you start kind of figuring out what your vision is, and this is a vision for you as a couple, you'll actually find it's like super energizing. It's super energizing. People kind of get into it. And that's the whole thing about energy, right? If there's some parts that are going to be difficult, there's some parts that are going to be a little bit easier. So once couples kind of get clarity, that vision, that's actually for a lot of people, they get quite energized by that. Then they're kind of getting to the nuts and bolts in terms of the division of labor, and then also having that communication follow-up to make sure that you are hitting your targets. All of us can learn to be part of that 10% club when we just kind of lean in and start clarifying our vision and putting your plan together. That's why every great relationship, I believe, does not happen by accident. It's with intentionality and a clear strategic marriage plan.